Hello. I want to share a couple of things with you guys about spiritual relationships and spiritual connections. In the middle of this hurricane threat, most people know that I'm from Florida. And so when hurricanes hit, my friends who don't know where I'm at always reach out to me and check on me. My family members, they always say, where are you? Are you in the path of the storm? And things of that nature. And those are connections that are spiritual connections, right? Those are sometimes karmic relationships. Those are sometimes twin flame relationships. And they are not sexual. They are family members, right? But we have a spiritual connection. And those who reach out and check on me always remind me with their actions that we are spiritually connected, because they want to make sure they know that I am well. I also have that same type of spiritual connection with a friend of mine that I've known for well over 30 years. We don't talk all the time. Sometimes we go a year or two without really talking. We haven't seen each other physically in over a decade, right? I've been everywhere but where she is, her and her family. But she stopped check on me, right? Because we're connected. My clients, I have clients that I haven't worked with in a while. And they reach out and they're like, Dr. Bryson, I know you were in this area. Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm not there. Same thing happened last year too. I was like, I'm not there. But I'm not even where I was last year, right? And then someone reached out to me, and this is a ex-partner of mine. And they said, hey, I just want to make sure you're all right. And although we're in relationships with people and they end, we sometimes don't realize that the connection may not end, because you could be tied to a person from this life to the next. And being tied to that person doesn't mean that you necessarily have to be in a relationship with them in this time, but it does mean that you have a connection. And this person that reached out to me, from the moment I met them, I felt like I had known them my entire life, right? So I have a connection with that person. Doesn't mean that we have to be a couple. Doesn't mean that we have to even see each other or speak on a regular basis. It just means that I have a spiritual connection to that person. And sometimes, as the fleshly human version of ourselves, we forget that there's a spiritual side of ourselves. And that spiritual side of ourselves exists whether or not we want to acknowledge it. In addition to that, it has formed connections with others spiritually, whether or not we want to acknowledge it. And just because you don't be with that person in this lifetime, it doesn't mean that you aren't connected. And it doesn't mean that you won't hold that connection, right? So whenever somebody divorces a person, they think, oh, that's the end of that. Not necessarily so. Whenever they break up and they're no longer in a romantic relationship, they think that's the end of that. Not necessarily so. You have to realize that these spiritual connections are eternal. They last forever, lifetime to lifetime. And at some point, you might reincarnate, and that person's your brother, your mother, your sister, your some other relationship outside of being your spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, right? But that connection is still there. You will find that person in each lifetime and have a significant relationship with them. And that's this individual. We have a significant relationship in the sense of the spiritual connection, even though it's not, any other relationship outside of that. And that's okay, because that is life. And I'm making this video because I think often those of us who come with the veil lifted, we wait and try to hope for other people to catch up to where we are, and because we know this person's my person or that kind of thing. And sometimes it doesn't happen in this lifetime. And I want you to be okay with that, because we all have to be okay with that. And even if it does happen this lifetime, just know it might not happen the next lifetime. So enjoy it while you have it, right? We're all having our spiritual awakening at different stages and realizing who we are at different stages. And sometimes it's too late for you guys to have that relationship, that wonderful spiritual connection of we are one, we are who we are meant to be forever and ever and ever. And at the same time, I want you to remember that sometimes you can have that relationship with a son, a mother, a sister, a brother, to where your connection is so strong, you're like, this is my person. Totally not sexual. It is a spiritual thing. And our world has put things in the light to where most people think that it's like a sexual thing. No, your person has nothing to do with sex. It is a complete spiritual connection. All right? Anyway, you guys be well, stay safe. And again, I am not in Florida, for those of you who are checking on me. I appreciate you. Bye.